Hi kids, it is Monday. This is math, day 3. I need everybody to grab their day 3 paper and a pencil. Make sure when you are on the day 3 paper that it says lesson number 26, problem set. The other page says homework. Let's get our names right up on top. And we're going to get right to work. So today we're going to be comparing fractions, and we're going to be using greater than, less than, or equal to. We've done this before. This time though, it's going to be greater than 1 that we are working with. So if everybody could go ahead and look at A. We are comparing 5 and 1/3 to 4 and 3/4. When I see mixed numbers like these two are, I go right to the whole number. So I'm comparing 5 to 4, and obviously 5 is greater than 4. And that's all I have to do for that one. Let's go to B. Here I'm comparing 12/6 to 25/12. If you notice, these are both improper fractions, and they have different numerators and different denominators. There's a couple different ways I could go about solving this. One way is I see that I can decompose sixths into twelfths. So I'm going to do that. Make sure you're doing the work with me. I want to see it. 6 times 2 is 12. If I multiply the denominator by 2, I have to multiply the numerator by 2. 12 times 2 is 24. So 12/6 is the same as 24/12. When the denominator's the same, I look at the numerator. The greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. Therefore, 12/6 is less than 25/12. Let's go to C. Here we're comparing 18/7 to 17/5. I do not have any whole numbers because these are improper fractions. My numerators are different. My denominators are different. So what I'm going to do is turn these into mixed numbers. So I can say that when dealing with sevenths, it takes 7/7 to equal 1 whole. I can do another 7/7, and 7 plus 7 is 14. I need 4 more to get to 18. So when I turn these into a mixed number, I've got 1, 2 wholes, and 4/7. Then I'm going to do the same for 17/5. It takes 5/5 to equal 1 whole. I could do another 5/5 to equal 1 whole. 5 plus 5 is 10. I could do another 5/5 to equal a whole. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. I need 2 more to get to 17. So I have 1, 2, 3 wholes, with 2/5 left over. Now, when I look at my whole numbers, well, I know that 3 is greater than 2, so I can say 2 4/7 is less than 17/5. Sorry that my watch keeps dinging. You are all chatting in teams about whether or not you've seen the Leprechaun. So if you're wondering what's going on, that's it. When we go to D, we're comparing 5 2/5 to 5 5/8. These are mixed numbers. I can look at the whole numbers, but it doesn't help me out too much because they're the same. When I look at the fractional parts, the numerators are different, the denominators are different. So, I can do a little reasoning. If I use my half benchmark, I know that half of 5 would be 2.5 plus 2.5. So 2/5 is less than 1/2. 5/8, half for 8 is 4/8. So 5/8 is greater than half by 1/8. Therefore, 5 2/5 is less than 5 5/8. We're using all different types of strategies to figure these out. But as long as I show work, whichever strategy works for you is fine by me. Let's go down to E. We're comparing 6 2/3 to 6 3/7. They're mixed numbers. When I look at the whole numbers, they're the same, so that doesn't help me. When I look at the numerators and the denominators, they're all different. So what I'm going to do is take the two denominators and multiply them together. When I do that, 3 times 7 equals 21. So I'm going to change each of those so that their denominator is 21. So 2/3 is going to be changed to it, and 3/7 is going to be changed to it. Now at any time, if I'm going too fast, remember, all you have to do is pause the video. So 3 times what is 21? 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9. So now I'm comparing fractions that have the same denominator. I look at the numerator, 14 is greater than 9. So therefore, 6 2/3 is greater than 6 3/7. Let's go to F. I'm comparing 31/7 to 32/8. They are improper fractions. Their numerators and denominators are different. So what I'm going to do is turn these into mixed numbers. I know that if I do my division strategy, 7 goes into 31 4 times, it's 28, and 31 minus 28 is 3, and I keep the same denominator, so as a mixed number, it becomes 4 3/7. And this one is easy because it's 32 divided by 8. I know that is 4. So I compare my whole numbers. That doesn't help me because they're both 4s. But this has 3/7 as a fractional unit. This one doesn't have any. Therefore, 31/7 is greater than 32/8. So I'm trying to use everything that I know, all the different strategies I've been taught, how to solve these comparisons. Okay, you guys are chatting a lot. All right, G, we're comparing 31/10 to 25/8. They're improper fractions, numerators are different, denominators are different. So I am going to turn each into a mixed number. I'm going to use the division strategy. 10 can go into 31 3 times. That becomes 30. 31 minus 30 is 1. Keep the same denominator. I'm going to use the division strategy for this also. 25 divided by 8. 8 can go in 3 times. That's 24. 25 minus 24 is 1. Keep the same denominator. So now I have mixed numbers. When I look at the whole number, doesn't help, they're both 3s. When I look at the fractions, I notice that my numerators are the same. They're both 1. I know the rule. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So 10 is bigger. I know that sharing with 10 people is going to give me a smaller piece than sharing with 8 people. So I would say then that 31/10 is less than 25/8. Let's go to H. We are comparing 39/12 to 19/6. They're improper fractions. Numerators, denominators are different. But I can see that I can easily decompose 6ths into 12ths. So I'm going to do that. So 6 times what is 12? Well, it's 2. So I have to do 19 times 2. I don't have that memorized, so I'm going to do the work over to the side. And I get 38. Now I have common denominators, so the rule says the bigger the numerator, the bigger the fraction. 39 is greater than 38. Let's go down to I. I am comparing 49/50ths to 3 90/100ths. If this one has a whole, this one doesn't, so it's really 0 49/50ths. So I definitely know 3 is greater than 0. I love this type. And J, I have 5 5/12ths compared to 5 51/100ths. If I use my whole numbers, they're the same. If I look at the fractions, the easiest for me would be to use my half benchmark. Half of 12ths is 6. So 5/12ths is 1/12 less than half. Half of 100 is 50. So 51/100ths is 1/100th greater than 50/100ths or 1/2. So if it's greater than half, it's the bigger mixed number. So 5 5/12ths is less than 5 and 51/100ths. I know this can be confusing. I used a lot of different strategies. I used my half benchmark. I made common numerators. I made common denominators. I multiplied the denominators together to get a common denominator. I used mixed numbers and compared whole numbers. Lots of different ways you can go about this. There's no one right way. It is whatever works for you. So let's flip to the back. It says lesson 26 homework. This is your work that you need to do on your own. You can use any of the strategies we did on the other side, but please be sure to show your work. Even if it's just circling the whole numbers like we did at 3A, you need to at least show me that. And you're going to be using greater than, less than, or equal to. Bring it back on Thursday and chat me or email me if you have any questions.